Well, a lot of people are talking about this scary moment in Mississippi this morning when a pilot threatened to intentionally crash into a Walmart. NBC's Blaine Alexander walks us through what happened and how this all ended.
Well, here in Tupelo, Mississippi, it took a little more than 5 hours for this entire thing to come to a conclusion. Incredibly, there were no injuries on the ground and none from the pilot. But for the better part of 5 hours here in northern Mississippi, this was a terrifying time. When I spoke with the police chief and the mayor, they said that the most concerning issues was just the unknown. They say they heard from the pilot a little bit after 5 a.m. He was the one who called and threatened to crash that plane into a Walmart. And they say that ultimately they maintained contact. We're trying to talk him down. A couple of notable things. Around 8 a.m. or so local time, he actually agreed to land the plane. They say this was somebody who worked at the airport. He had worked there for about a decade or so. He was responsible for fueling the planes. He had some flight instruction experience, but he was not a licensed pilot, officials say. So when he agreed to land that plane, he didn't know how. They had to call in 2 other pilots to actually walk him through this process by cell phone. They say that he was almost landing, was lined up, but about 100 yards away from the ground or so, he decided to abort and ultimately flew around for more than 2 hours. Now, ultimately, this all came to an end. He landed in a field about 50 miles or so north of where that plane was originally taken. That suspect is now in custody. He's facing a number of charges and could likely face some federal charges as well. But it caused a lot of disruption here on the ground. The Walmart was evacuated. Several roads were shut down. A number of events were canceled. Again, this is something that ultimately came to a very safe ending, but certainly caused a lot of stress, a lot of concern here in Tupelo, Mississippi. Blaine Alexander, NBC News.